My goal for you is that whenever you use a comma, you will know why you are using it. To achieve this goal, we will be reviewing appositives, direct address, interjections, series, compound sentences, and subordinate clauses. An appositive is a noun or a noun phrase that gives more information about another noun or noun phrase in the sentence. For example, Mrs. Clark, the new teacher, glared at the students from behind her glasses. My appositive is the new teacher. I like to think of appositives as synonyms. Mrs. Clark and the new teacher are the same person. I can take out one of these, or I could reverse them, and I would basically have the same sentence. It doesn't change the meaning of my sentence to take out the new teacher. It just gives me more information about a noun that's already in the sentence, Mrs. Clark. Let's see how you do. Take a look at this sentence and decide where the appositive is. The answer is a very smug student. Kevin and a very smug student are the same person. Notice that my commas go around the entire noun phrase, a very smug student. If you're ever questioning where those commas go, ask yourself if you can take out the whole phrase and still have a complete sentence. In this case, if I took out a very smug student, I would have Kevin remarked, the new teacher looks like she is 100 years old. So I would still have a sentence. However, if I had placed my second comma somewhere else, like after smug, then I would have had Kevin student remarked, which of course does not make sense. How about this one? Bailey laughed so loud that Mrs. Clark, the new teacher, turned to look at him. The appositive is the new teacher. She pulled a wooden paddle, an obvious instrument of torture, out of her bag. The appositive is an obvious instrument of torture. So notice that the noun and anything modifying the noun is inside these commas. My noun is instrument, and obvious, and this preposition of torture are both modifying instrument. She glowered down at Bailey, the offending student. My appositive is the offending student. Notice that this time my appositive is at the very end of the sentence. So there's not a comma on the other side of the appositive, there's just a period. Direct address is when the writer is speaking directly to someone, telling someone something, and naming that someone. Sally, I need you to help me with this. In this case, I'm talking to Sally and I'm naming her. I'm not talking about her, I'm talking to her. If I had said something like, I need Sally to help me with this, I would be talking about Sally instead of to Sally. If I'm talking about Sally, I don't need a comma. If I'm talking to her, I do. What are you doing over there, Beth? My direct address is Beth, so I need a comma. Give that back to me, Jeff, or I will get very upset. My direct address is Jeff, so I need a comma on either side of Jeff. Dude, I was just going to borrow it for a second. I need a comma after dude. Notice that this isn't actually someone's name, it's really just a nickname. But since I'm calling them by that name, it is considered a direct address and needs to be set off with a comma. If you don't give it back, Jeff, I will tell Mrs. Clark. My direct address is Jeff, so I need a comma on either side.